Three, two, one.
What's up, guys? Long time no see or here. I mean, however you listen to Experience Podcast, I want to be the first to welcome you guys back. We have a lot going on at this studio, as you can see from the background already. We'll get into detail with that, but we've been just moving here at the studio. We have a virtual concert that we are preparing for. A rapper named Easy Mill, April 17 and 18. The concert is going to be live. More details in the description below, again, from wherever you're watching it from. So stay tuned with that. Also, I wanted to share this PS5. I know you see the PS5 here, right? I wanted to share a little bit something about this. You want to know how I got it? You think it's a giveaway? It's not a giveaway. This is actually, I want to shed some light on an Instagram account. They actually hooked me up with this PS5. We all know how hard it is to get the PS5, right? We know how rare it is. So Mr. Soul Vibes, they go by that on their Instagram account at Mr._Soul Vibes. They usually do resale on authentic shoes. Anything that you can pretty much find on Restock X. They sell anything from obviously PS5s. So if you want to check them out, you want to see what they're about, again, at Mr._Soul Vibes for all your shoe and resale needs. Go ahead and check them out. There you go, sir. If you're wondering who this guy is, this is my brother. He is assisting me today in our very special podcast. I want it to be known that this is the season finale of season 1 of Experience Podcast. Thank you for being here, experiencing this on our journey. But now, it's everything that we've been waiting for. Our special guest. Who's my special guest? Is it Jason? It's not. Is it me? You're wondering why I have this cape on. Is he gonna get a haircut? You're right. I am going to get a haircut. All right. Now, my guest, very special guest, he goes by Guti Cuts. Hey. Victor Gutierrez right here, man.
What's going on,
Here he
man?
is. What's up, bro?
How you doing, bro?
Thank you for coming in, man.
Appreciate you for having me.
So,
Hi, guys. What's going on, bro? How you doing? How you doing?
Bro, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a haircut on this podcast show. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're gonna get a haircut. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music,
ASMR viewers,
this is how we do it. ASMR. That's exactly what it's gonna be, right? So don't freak out when you hear a little bit of buzzing. But we will be getting a haircut today. My man here will be rolling through some clips of his haircuts, his really dope haircuts that he does.
There they are.
Boom. See? There's my man Guti right there.
That is me.
There's Jason right there. So we're gonna get this started, guys.
Let's
We're gonna get this started. You're gonna see scruffy old me with all the facial hair. I grew this out on purpose.
I'm gonna try to do my magic, bro.
Yeah.
No promises.
Yeah, man. So thank you for coming in.
Yeah, of course, bro. Thank you for having me again, bro. This place was super cool.
Yeah, man. Thanks for joining the experience.
Yeah, I've never done anything like this. Never experienced anything like this, so it should be fun.
Neither have I. Neither have I. So this is all great. But why not for the season finale episode?
So regular haircut that we usually do.
Everything regular that we used to do, bro.
Cool.
Everything.
Cool. Sounds
top
good.
to bottom. So, dude, you got to tell us about yourself, man. How old are you? Where are you from?
So I am 24 years old. I was originally from the Bay Area.
Okay.
Richmond, California is where I kind of grew up at. From there, I moved to Chicago at a super young age. So I never actually got to really experience the Bay Area lifestyle.
Yeah.
Just went straight to the cold weather of Chicago.
Ooh, we're from there too.
I know, Bulls fans, right?
Yes, sir.
But from there, I moved to Las Vegas. I think I was probably like 10, 12 years old, and grew up here ever since.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Almost like me. I moved here.
When you were
moved here around
the same age?
I was, 9.
Nice.
Yeah, so like about 9-10 years ago.
Yeah, so it's been such a long time. I consider myself like a Vegas native just because I kind of basically grew up here.
You've seen it change.
I have, no, for sure. Vegas has definitely grown into what it is now. And I feel like it's still growing, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see the expansion. I mean, it's still a small city, but even within traffic and all, I'm like, dude, there's a lot of people coming through here, man.
Oh, traffic has been so horrible lately.
Yeah, the city is something that's not like a lot of cities.
No, 100%.
Honestly, you see it ever changing. You see the sports teams rolling in. Vegas Raiders, Vegas Golden Knights. What's next? Baseball.
Hopefully a basketball team.
That's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
We're hoping
Hopefully,
basketball.
hopefully
man.
a basketball team.
Yeah, we're hoping basketball starts coming through, but it's a unique city within itself because I always tell people within like 3 to 4 months, I meet a whole new wave of people.
Oh, 100%.
I'm like, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from so-and-so. I'm here on a job.
Right.
More of the time, so like pre-COVID and all that stuff.
Right.
But I mean, even now, everything is flourishing, bro.
It really is. It really is. Just really starting to see the city jump back into how it used to be and what it's going to take into like in the future, I guess.
Honestly, bro. So the golden question is, since you're a barber, bro, what got you into cutting hair?
You know, I've been asked this question by like all my clients, and I feel like every time someone asks me this, I have like a different answer just because it's not just one thing that got me into it.
Right.
For me, growing up, I think it was probably like middle school, I started getting barbershop haircuts, I guess it was, you can call it. And I would literally bust it to the barbershop after school and hang out there all day. And behind like a rapper or an athlete, which I didn't know, a barber was the coolest person that I could connect with, you know?
Facts, bro.
Like a barber was the coolest person on the block that you actually can like talk to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just the confidence that one person or a haircut can give you is such a like life-changing experience, bro.
Oh man.
I don't know how you feel when you don't when
yeah.
you go months without a
No,
haircut.
yeah, I concur to that, man. Definitely. Like, I feel like a whole new person when I leave.
Exactly.
I bet you that's a good feeling too. Like once they leave, you know,
And it really is like, and they can have a bad day going into the shop, and once they leave, whatever they have going on, I'm not saying to forget it, but the haircut will make everything a little bit.
Yeah, you're low-key like a therapist.
In a way, yeah, in a way, without going
Crazy,
to all the
right?
fancy schools and doing all that, yeah.
that's awesome, man. And you're doing this to like so many people. Sometimes they're regular clients.
Yeah, 100%.
Like us over here.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see them one time. They're just a walk-in appointment recommended by somebody, or maybe they're just visiting into town.
And that happens a lot. Like we get, but before COVID, pre-COVID, we used to get a lot of people that were just in town for the week, and they would search up barbershop and whatever pop up, they would go get a haircut at that certain time.
It's a good thing for me. I had my Jason over here to recommend me to you, bro.
Yeah, for sure. And I've already told him I really appreciate that because you're a cool person, man.
Yeah.
You're a cool person.
Thanks, bro.
I've been going to you for like almost 4 years now.
Has it been 4 years now? It actually has been. Because I've been cutting for like 4.5 now. And I met you at the first shop I worked at. And that's been such a long time ago, bro. Because you were in high school at the time, right?
Yeah,
You were in-
I was in like sophomore year of high school.
Yeah, and now you're graduating and stuff. You
Yeah.
graduated already, right?
Yeah,
Okay, there you go. See, like, what other profession can take you from like being at every point in somebody's life, from like
And then
graduation?
you saw me like grow up.
Exactly.
You know, like, different
I've seen people
hairstyles.
grow up a lot. It's always cool to see.
That's awesome, bro. That's insane. So since we have this slideshow going back behind us, dude, what is one of the most gnarliest like haircuts here? Because there's some really dope stuff back here. Look at all these designs, man. I don't know if you guys can see this from behind, but
So the one on the right, that's me actually. With the super crazy out. It looked like I was in a straight jacket.
yeah, that was the mullet, huh?
So what happened with that one was a funny story because I was growing my hair out for like 2 years previously to that, and I got tired of it and I was like, I wanted something new. And I told one of my friends, I'm like, hey bro, are you down to cut my hair? Because he's a creative type of person. He's like, yeah, of course. And I sat in the chair. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, do whatever you want, bro. Go crazy. And he's like, are you down for a mullet? I'm like, I'm down for a mullet, bro. And that kind of just happened. And then he's like, he had like a white jacket on. He's like, bro, this looks like a straight jacket. Let me put this on. We're gonna take some pictures. I'm like, cool. And that's how that ended up coming up.
When did you decide to cut that? I know you had it for a minute.
So I was growing for 2 years, and when quarantine happened, I was in my house, and I was just like, I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, what am I doing with my hair? It was like legit a mess. So I was just like, yeah, I think it's time. And it was hot at that time, and you know, Vegas summertime it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. If you've never been to Vegas, it is dry heat. You'll feel like a cookie in an oven. I've seen people cook cookies or eggs on the street.
Yep.
Absolutely, this is no joke. So if you live in Vegas, or if you've ever experienced the Vegas summer, I know you know what I know. I know you know what I'm talking about. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah, your car literally turns into an oven, bro.
Yeah, so the heat is no joke. Absolutely not. So we're talking about COVID a lot and the quarantine and everything. You got the first dose of the vaccine, right?
I literally just got it probably like 2 or 3 days ago.
How do you feel?
I haven't turned into a zombie yet, so that's a plus.
Oh, that's good.
But no, it was honestly, it was cool. It gives you a peace of mind, I guess.
Yeah.
You still got one more though. Like
Yeah, so I'm
like 30
hoping
days.
that one kind of doesn't really mess with me too much, but I'm sure I'll be fine.
What was that experience like?
Getting the vaccine?
Yeah.
So it was kind of, it's not, I wouldn't say sketchy, but it was like when I got to the place that they were doing it at, there was like armed, like the Navy, like not Navy, like Army people, I guess, like, and it was like police
National
officers,
Guard.
National
Yeah.
Guard, there was like a FEMA people, and I was just like,
Makes sense.
I was like, this is kind of sketchy, but everything was cool, bro. It went by pretty smooth. There had to have been like 1,000 people there that day.
When did they open it to the public? When they start distributing that?
So it's crazy because they didn't really ask me for anything like credentials wise, but I
They
kind of
just said, here you go.
basically like, here's your shot. There you go.
It's a shot.
Yeah.
Wow. So no zombie.
No, not yet at least.
Okay.
I'll keep
When
you
is-
updated.
What is the next one? How is it like a week?
No,
6 weeks?
so you have to go. I want to say they said 4 weeks out in advance, so I have to go April 13th.
Oh, okay. Damn, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm ready to get life back to normal. I'm sure everybody else
Absolutely.
watching this is.
Absolutely, and we're hoping. I mean, that's why we're doing virtual concert
Yeah.
next month, like I said.
Who's the artist you said that you had come in?
His name is Easy Mill.
Okay.
Easy Mill, Filipino rapper.
Nice. Okay.
Just, yeah, he's blowing up right now, so really excited for that process. I'm choreographing for the concert, so that's just a whole thing we got going on.
Right.
Preparing for this event. The whole team, man. The whole team is behind this here. So.
Are they gonna have it here or?
Yeah, yes they are.
Nice,
Yes
cool.
they are, and it'll be broadcasted on April 17, April 18 around the world, man. So
Definitely gonna have to check that out.
yeah, man, it's gonna be big things. So we've been running over here, man.
Yeah.
So we're really glad that you're part of the experience here,
And once again, man, I really do appreciate it. I know we've been talking about it for a while when you come get a haircut.
A while, my viewers, a while. We've been talking about this for a long time. I think since like the 3rd episode. So
How many episodes was your whole show?
this is the 9th episode.
9th and final episode?
Yep, aka season finale.
Okay.
We'll be sticking around for season 2. But what a better way to close it out than get a haircut. You guys can see me get fresh.
What do you have planned for season 2?
We have a lot going on, man. We
Yeah.
have a lot of guests here. Setup, we're gonna change up the setup a little bit
Really? Okay.
and all, but it's all gonna still stick to the experience and just bringing in more guests like yourself, man.
Right,
Talking
right.
about your way, your life, your
Right.
experiences, your thoughts, because this is an opportunity, and like I like to say to all the other entrepreneurs and all the other people that come in, this is an opportunity to speak out and just connect to your audience more. So
100%.
Share your story, your hustle.
share your story,
Put
brother.
a face to everything.
Share
I
your story,
think,
put
yeah.
a face to it, man.
People see the haircuts. People never see the actual barber. I want to say.
It's like getting to know all of your like people you see.
Yeah, 100%.
Barber.
What brought me to this
Yeah.
point in life?
So, talk about the barber community a little bit. I like to dive in and get to learn about other communities because I know dancers have their own community. Entertainment has its own community.
100%.
Barbers have to have their own community too, right?
So, being as Vegas is such a small place, as you know,
Right.
The barber community is very small. Like everybody knows each other in some type of way, or we went to school with one another. So we all keep in touch. Like I know people cause I graduated barber school probably like 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I work with some of the guys I went to school with, or if I'm ever too busy at the shop and I can't take a client, I know I have people all around the city that I can recommend just because
Right.
everybody in the barber community keeps in touch, which is it's nice to see for sure.
Right.
And you guys all learn from each other, right?
100%, yeah. Thankfully, like me personally, when I was in barber school, I didn't know how to cut hair. The first time I picked up a pair of clippers was in barber school. But luckily, I went to school with a lot of guys that already knew how to cut hair, and they weren't selfish in like showing you like how to cut hair or like giving you advice, which was pretty cool. But because barber school didn't teach you how to cut hair at all, which is pretty crazy.
Oh, wow.
Pretty
Interesting.
crazy.
I didn't know that.
No, so barber school, the instructor's basically there just to help you pass the written part of the barber test, and the rest you kind of just freehand or like wing it and learn on your own. I tell everybody that asks me like how I learn how to cut hair. I'm just like YouTube, honestly. YouTube taught me.
I know you guys like take classes. I heard you guys talk about that.
So like after barber school, I started really digging into like furthering my education when it came to like cutting hair. So there's people that do like one-on-one classes that do like hands-on education or like look and learns and stuff like that, which is super cool because like it's all the stuff that you didn't learn in barber school that's very helpful.
Is it just like different techniques you just pick up?
Yeah, because there's a million ways to cut hair. You know, everybody has their own way and their own style of cutting hair. It's nice to pick like certain things from certain people and add it into your own. You know.
Right. So speaking of your school, you went to Nevada's first barber school?
At the time it was called Nevada's Barber College.
Oh, Nevada's Barber College.
But now it's known as Nevada's first barber school.
And is it truly? It really is first barber school?
It was the first and only barber school in Vegas.
Damn.
So Mr. B was the only instructor out here in Vegas, and
Word?
you can ask 10 different barbers their barber school experience, and you're gonna get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
For me personally, my barber school experience was cool. Mr. B was definitely a strict teacher, to say the least. But if you're there just to do your work and like learn how to cut hair and just do what you're told, it'll go by smooth for you.
Right.
And that's luckily I'm an easygoing person. I avoid like confrontation, I guess.
Right.
So barber school was pretty easy for me. It was 9 months. It went by pretty fast.
So if I'm not mistaken, it's 9 months, 36 weeks, 1,500 hours?
100%.
Yeah. I was doing
doing a little research, I see. Yeah. It all depends too, because if you do the full course without taking any breaks, without anything like that, it's 9 months, 1,500 hours. Have to do 700 haircuts, 100 shaves, 100 shaves, and 50 hair dyes. There's definitely a list that they require.
That honestly makes me feel safe, though.
But it's crazy. Funny story. The first time I cut hair at school, I was like 3 weeks into the course. I was doing straight book work, and all of a sudden the instructor is like, "Hey, are you ready to cut hair?" I'm just like, "Yeah." In my mind, okay, cool. I'm gonna cut a mannequin or something like that, you know. Cause I didn't know how to cut hair, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And he's like, "Okay, go cut that gentleman's hair."
You're like,
I was just
Bet.
I'm like, "Okay."
What?
I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, go cut that gentleman's hair."
Bet.
I'm like, okay, I guess. Luckily, like Mr. B had everything. Like he knew his clients already. The people that would walk into the school.
Yeah.
He knew what clients to give to like certain students, I guess. So luckily, the guy wanted like an all even haircut and a lineup.
Okay.
Nah, you can't really mess that up too bad.
All right. So how'd it go? It went out well?
Oh, my hands were. I was shaking so bad. I was shaking so bad.
Dang.
But luckily, the guy was. The gentleman was super patient with me, and he understood that was my first haircut.
Right. Well, that's good. You got an understanding client, man.
100%, yeah.
So that's what it's like. First, like barber or first haircut experience.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I didn't know how to cut hair. Didn't know how to hold a pair of clippers.
Whoa.
Nothing.
But it was like, "Are you ready?"
Are you ready? I was like,
ready.
"Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I came to school for." And that was
bro.
that. It's been history ever since.
Yeah.
So what separates you from like one of those sports clips barbers from
Fantastic
a barber
Sam's.
barber?
So for me personally, I don't like talking down on anybody that does type of hairs, right? I would say the difference between us and them is they're trained a little bit differently than we are. So they're trained to give haircuts they have a time limit basically.
Yeah.
They want you to do a whole haircut in 20 minutes, I think, or 20 minutes or less, so they can maximize their profits basically.
Yeah, the quantity.
Yeah, exactly. And me, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could do a haircut in 20 minutes, honestly. Or I could do a haircut, but it's not gonna be a good haircut. Mm-hmm. And so I would say that's the only difference between us and them, really. Because some of them are actually really good at cutting hair. A lot of them learn how to cut hair with like scissors, whereas opposed to like barbers, when you start out, you're not too familiar with using like shears or anything like that. You're mainly focusing on the clippers. Mm. So everybody has their own way of cutting hair.
So have you ever done those haircuts where you had just scissors? Because I know some I've heard that sometimes where some clients like to just do scissor haircut, even if like they're getting a fade, right?
Right, so doing a whole fade with scissors, like a bald fade, it's kind of hard to do, almost impossible.
Yeah.
But I have had clients that ask for all shear haircuts, and those haircuts are more like gentlemen's haircuts and stuff like that. And that's why I decided to like further my education, because coming out of barber school, I wasn't too familiar with those haircuts, you know? And now I feel comfortable to the point where I could do a whole haircut with scissors.
Nice. Have you had to do one?
Yeah, it's been a while just because the demographics and the clientele that I have, it's mainly like younger people, I would say. Not younger people, but just like urban, I guess. And they all want the bald fades with the crispy lineups and stuff like that, you know?
Okay. Damn. Well, I mean, hey, that's what we're doing right now, right?
Yeah, at least trying to.
Yeah. So, this is kind of a vague question here, but why do you do what you do, pretty much? Or
why do I cut hair?
Yeah, why do you do what you do? You know, who do you think you are? Where do you think you're going?
Okay.
Yeah.
So why I do what I do, that's actually a good question. I like giving people confidence, you know?
Yeah.
I was also like, growing up, I was never like the most artistic. I can't draw, I can't paint and stuff like that, you know? You guys dance, I can't dance. For me, expressing myself like artistically or creatively was cutting hair. And that's the way I found myself expressing myself, was through my haircuts.
Right.
Especially as you can see like in the back, the hair coloring stuff that I've gotten into recently, that kind of helps me branch out a little bit more than just hair cutting, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And they look sick.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
I could see it playing in the background behind me, and I was gonna ask you, like, you know, like, craziest, dopest hairstyle, or like what was like the hardest? Because these look really intricate, some of these hair dyes.
So I would say, let me see if it pops
even if
up
it's
right.
even if it's not on there, like what was like the most intricate?
So the plant one, it was like flowers and stuff. That one was pretty hard just because to get something very legible, it's kind of difficult because drawing on paper is completely different than drawing on hair.
Yeah.
Hair moves, hair doesn't. It's very different. But for that one, luckily I have a good friend of mine. He's the one that kind of put me on to like the world of hair dyeing and stuff like that. So every time I've actually done hair coloring, it's been with my friend. It's fun collabing with people like that.
Yeah. Shoot, that's awesome. I'm probably not gonna dye my hair, but
I think you pull it off. I think you could pull it off.
I've been dyeing my hair ever since I was like in the 5th grade.
Did you?
I got it permed one time.
You know, I've seen a lot of perms as of late. A lot.
Yeah?
A lot of people have gotten.
A
lot of people get the perms.
I've been doing that like 3-4 years ago.
Did you?
That's when I did it. Yeah.
Was your hair like super curly?
It was super curly. I don't know if we could like pull up a picture of it, but it was super curly. And it thinned out my hair a lot. So I remember when I first started going to you, you recommended biotin.
Yes.
Which biotin is good for nails, hair, skin, but it definitely grew the thickness back in my hair.
It did, and I've definitely noticed in the time that I've been cutting your hair.
Right. So,
I personally use it for a little beard that I do have.
Yeah.
That's I think that's a biotin.
Yeah, I include that in my daily supplements. So
do you? Okay.
If you guys do, supplementation in the morning, at nighttime, whatever you guys take, do it with your multivitamins. Biotin is something good to look at as well.
What other vitamins do you take?
I take a multivitamin, zinc, fish oil, glucosamine for the joints.
I mean, you being a dancer, I'm guessing you need all of that, especially.
Absolutely, yeah. And I thought, even though I'm still in my mid-20s, I thought, investing in the body and health is wealth. Really, I mean,
100%.
Your body is going to be your sanctuary. Your body is going to be what carries you
24/7.
Yeah, so I mean, you really have to be sure that you're on top of that and investing in it. Because I mean, I don't know like who got sick throughout last year, but I mean, the people that are okay, I bet they thought, I'm really glad I invested in my body.
100%, yeah.
Maybe that's the running thought that they had in their head now, like,
I gotta take care of myself.
Maybe I should take care of myself because your health is wealth, and that's gonna be your defense. I mean, you don't necessarily see germs, right then and there. You can see.
It'd be nice if you could.
It'd be great if you could. You can see tanks, guns, missiles, but the biggest killer is the one that you can't see. And you see these germs and everything, and I feel like now the companies and the CDC and the government, they're investing in of all these like cures and vaccines, vaccinations now, but at the time, you know, someone pointed that out that they weren't really focused on that.
No,
they
not
were
at all.
Focused on other things that we can see, and obviously, yes, we're gonna focus and put our attention to it, but what about the things you can't see?
Right.
What about the things that you can't see that could be a potential threat and that can attack you, but again, you feel defenseless because
you can't see it, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, I'm putting on the hand sanitizer, I'm washing my hands, I'm putting on the mask, but
Is it really helping?
some ways it could still potentially get to you.
Yeah, 100%.
So I feel like that investment needs to be a little bit more. I mean, now, if they don't invest in it now through a pandemic, I don't know what they're gonna
I don't know what it's going to take.
them to invest in it, you know? But I mean, that's something obviously to think about and to really see and to take lessons from what happened in 2020. You know, there was a lot going on in 2020 and there were so many lessons, but there is still some beauty in it, I believe. The beauty in it is that we can still band together, and even through social media, we use that tool to help us out as well. There was things that we use, you know, for awareness. There's a lot of things in the world that people are not aware of that social media was allowed to, you know, to bring to each other and to each other's eyes and in each other's ears, and
Right.
something that people that they didn't know about, and now they know about it. So it really brought light to that, I believe. And, you know, even things going on now, I mean, it's sad for us to see that all this has kind of carried on through 2020, but even before then, a lot of this was still going on.
It's still going on, yeah. It just wasn't as in the media as it is now.
I honestly think the best invention of us is a camera phone.
100%.
Because now we get to see, you know, things like hate, discrimination, and a lot of that plays into play with what's going on today.
In the world, especially nowadays.
Yeah, that we need to bring this to light and awareness. And I mean, you see this hashtag Stop Asian Hate.
Stop the Asian hate, man.
Stop the Asian hate.
Stop the Asian hate.
I mean, it's almost like it's unreal because you're like, how is that happening? How are people
now? Yeah.
How are people still like this? You know, but then you see places like Junction Complex and events that they hold, like Tuesday Blend. Some of my viewers, I know you've been to Tuesday Blend. You may not know the staff necessarily, but you know the events. You've been to the events, and it brings not only diversity, but it brings unity.
100%.
You know, and that's what we look for.
That's what we need.
That's what we need. And I mean, social media can have its negatives. We all know that, but social media brings positives as well. And like I said, awareness is the biggest thing. Awareness is a vague term, but awareness has been brought into a lot of the fields that have been going on. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, at first, like an example with the pandemic, you didn't think it was a big deal right now because it was in China, and then it made its way here.
Yep.
You know, and people see it and they're like, oh,
You're
it's
like,
not
no,
a big deal.
it's never gonna get over here. It's not gonna affect me personally.
Yes, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And I feel like people still have that mentality where like, oh, it still hasn't affected me.
If it doesn't affect me,
it doesn't
or anyone,
happen.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think it should be more into consideration, really. And even then, say you're not Asian, you're bound to have an Asian friend.
Have you guys?
You know what I'm saying?
Have you guys?
Hello. And like, think about them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No,
think about
100%.
maybe not us, we won't get attacked, but think about our family members. Think
Or their
about
family members.
our grandparents. Like, all those elderly Asian people could have definitely, easily have been our grandparents. And I think it's good to shine a light on that and, you know, do more research on it. How can I help? Reposting something for awareness
Goes a long way.
is a start.
Goes a long way.
Yes, it's a start. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like take full responsibility and be at the full ride of these Stop Asian Hate movements. It's, you know what I mean? It's like,
You gotta play your part though.
yeah, you gotta play your part is what I'm saying. And again, you may not be Asian, but you definitely have an Asian friend. And
yeah.
if you don't have Asian friends, you're missing out, first of all. But second of all, you love our food. You love our Filipino food. You love our Chinese food. Our Japanese. You love sushi.
Especially sushi.
Not really
You love our
sushi.
food. But you have to be able to stand up with us as well.
100%.
You know, just like BLM. Like I was more than happy to stand up with my brothers and sisters with that. You know, it's amazing to see in 2021 that there's still people that have this like hate. And yes, hate is a strong word, but that's the word that I am using for this. It's hate. It's hate, and it's stemming from generations and generations. And again, like it's one of those points to me where I look at it and I see it and I'm like, is this really still going on?
It is.
You guys really still have a deep hate towards it, and it's very sad. But I'm glad to see things like this, like unity, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Like me being a barber, I can't control who sits in my chair, you know. Like people from all nationalities, all different types of life sit in my chair, and I've always welcomed that.
Absolutely. And so you see it, man.
100%, yes.
To be diverse and immersed in some cultures, even though you may have that only moment and that one moment with your client in the barber chair, you still had that moment.
one moment, exactly.
You still had that experience, and depending on how much you dive into the conversation, you get to immerse in what they're a part of, in their culture and what they like to do, and maybe it might be different from you, but again, it's all a learning experience, and I think that's the beauty in it.
Yes, sir.
That's the beauty in the process, really. So, yeah, man. Again, awareness with social media, and for us, we're entrepreneurs.
Yes.
We want to do what we do. We want to change and inspire the generations to come. I feel like that's the bigger purpose.
100%.
If you can find your, if you can find your purpose in life bigger than likes, views, money, there's always something bigger to it.
It's always a bigger picture.
And I feel like once you connect and once you find your bigger picture, then it'll always come more natural and more organic than like forced, you know? And I believe it's important. It also revolves around like situations that you're a part of too. And I think it's important like to know like when you're in a certain situation and it may have been good for you at the time, but sometimes it's good to be aware of like, okay, this situation that I'm in isn't giving me anything anymore. I feel like I'm at a point where I'm not learning and growing, and maybe just the situation isn't matching with my journey anymore.
Right.
So it's important to know when to let go, when to grow in different areas too, because I feel like a lot of people get stuck in a certain situation. Now they're stuck into it 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, maybe their whole lifetime.
Not knowing how to
get out of it, and now they're just stuck into a situation that they're gonna forever be a part of, whether it's a work situation, a relationship situation, a living situation, just something. But it's important to know when, okay, it's time to go. It's time to let go. It's time to grow. It's time to do something different. But it comes with support, and it has to be decided with the individual themselves. But the support aspect is really big for them too, because you need somebody, you know, I think just to support. Like for me, like with my journey and how I got to where I am now is I always had a support system.
Right.
You know, the naysayers, the doubters, the haters, the people that don't want you to leave your situation, or that they can see you flourish more when you leave, if you leave. You know, they see that and they want to not necessarily like stunt it in a direct way, but maybe in an indirect way.
Subliminals always.
Exactly. So it's important to know, and I'm sure you've gone into some situations where you thought, okay, I mean, now it's time to move on. Maybe now a different situation is going to fit me a little bit better.
Right, 100%.
You've probably had some situations like that.
I did. When I moved from previously with the barbershop where I worked at, I was working at my own little private studio.
Right, and that's where we met.
That's where we met, exactly. And it was cool. I liked it. I experienced it, but I felt like I outgrew myself in that space.
Yeah.
And it was definitely hard to leave because I felt like it was something that I created on my own, and it definitely felt hard leaving that space. It was like a safe space for me. Mm-hmm. And going back to a barbershop, it was definitely a challenge, but I don't look back now because I've met some really cool people, and I branched out, and like it brought me here for one, you know?
Right. Do you believe in like good timing, or everything happens for a reason, or like what is kind of your way of thinking when you see yourself finally leave the situation and you're like, okay, cool. Now it's on.
I think things happen because you make them happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, things happen for a reason. You can say that, but if you don't have any action to make things happen, like it's never gonna work out for you. You know, you can't leave it all to chance and say, oh, hopefully things fall into the right place. You know, you definitely have to take some type of action and take it into your own hands sometimes.
The most important thing to take from that is you had to make it happen.
Exactly. You can't wait for somebody else or wait for some type of.
You gotta make your own opportunity.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. And it ties back into what I was just saying. It starts with you. But an important key and role is a good support system. You may not necessarily need it, but there's a lot of the things, like, because you can't do it on your own, but still, we need that as humans. We need some type of
Support system. Like
support. Yeah.
Who would you say your support system is?
My support system would be my brother here.
Yep.
My friends,
Right.
my day ones, even people that I grew up with that have no idea what
going on in your life.
dancing or like whatever, but they've known me from the start. So it's a different kind of view because they've seen where I came from to what I am now. So it's changing in their perspective too. Like somebody I just meet off the street, they already know like who I am just in the moment,
Right.
in present time. But my support system, they were always behind me and they're always like, yeah, I believe in you. And every idea I had, whether it was like just so out of the blue and it's like almost borderline outrageous or just something more realistic, they supported me.
Yeah, that's always good.
And
good
that's
to have
all
those type of people, for sure.
That's all I needed, because I know it's hard for some people to not listen to haters or comments or anything like that. But you know, we're humans. We'll scroll like, oh yeah, I don't listen to that. I don't read the comments. You know, I'm human. I'll look through the comments.
100%.
I'll listen to what people are saying. But as long as you have those people that will support you, I mean, like that's really it. Me, I'm the type of person that uses the negativity and the haters and people that think I can't do it or they tell me I can't do it. I revert that into energy, productivity energy for myself.
Right.
And so I shift it in a way, and that's an art form to do.
100%.
To take what people are saying to you and to change that into something productive. Because then therefore, you don't really have to speak. In a way, it's kind of like that's your talk, is your success. And what you do is what makes noise. Of course, you have the things that you do it for is bigger than proving your doubters wrong. There's got to be something bigger to that, you know, but it's part of the fuel. It's part of the fuel, and sometimes they don't get it. Sometimes they don't understand that you saying those things about me or anybody else, that could drive them. That could drive them to make them do bigger and better things, but I mean, that's all on you and how you're gonna make it happen.
Exactly.
You know, so I really love all the people that run through this building, this facility, because they have the mentality and everything that you see now is what they've worked for, just like yourself. You
For
give us
sure.
your story and
Yeah, 100%. Everybody has their own different story and how they got to where they're at and that moment, you know?
yeah, and I don't know if you've gotten these questions, but I've gotten questions where they ask me, how do you get where you are at right now? And I'm like, you know, I don't have an
answer.
I don't have a straight answer. It's everybody's journey is different.
Yeah.
But all I have to say is stay true to yourself. Don't ever forget the reason why you started doing what you do. And again, like we were talking about, if there's a situation for yourself that feels forced, feels like it's not right anymore, and you need to get yourself out of the situation, then do it.
Don't be afraid to leave.
Don't be afraid, because a change in perspective could possibly be your biggest breakthrough. You know, it could be right in front of you right now, but you didn't know because you didn't step out of it. Whether you're afraid, whether you don't think that, self-doubt, something, you will always have supporters. And I've honestly came to find that my biggest supporter could be somebody I just met off the block, and my biggest doubter is somebody that I know.
That's sad.
And it's sad, it's insane, but it's true in a lot of the ways. I've seen the utmost strangers support me. you know, but I've had the people that talk crap the most is the people that I knew, you know, the whole time. So it's a crazy realization, but these are things that you find out on your journey of life. But that's why I say life is crazy, and sometimes you may think you know it all, but it hits you with something new, man. So experience your life.
Yep.
Go through it. The process is the most beautiful part. The journey is the beautiful part. What you see on the screen or what people choose for you to see are just like outcomes, are things that they've hustled and they've went through the work, they went through all that. But the journey and the process is probably the most rewarding part of anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it may not feel like that in the moment.
It never does.
Yeah, but once you look back on it, you're like, wow.
It was worth it.
Wow, yes, absolutely. Yeah, man. Thanks for having that chat, bro.
Of course, bro.
Our viewers range from everything.
Yeah?
Everything. Yeah, they think since I'm a dancer that the majority of the audience is going to be dancers, but they range from anything, man. Like people that they get inspired from what they listen to, and never know, future barber.
Yeah, for sure. If anybody wants to cut hair.
Absolutely.
I've had their start right here.
This is your start. This is your sign.
I've had people ask me, dude, can I get information about Vern, our episode 5 guest, man? They want to know how to buy a house as a millennial.
Okay, that was a real estate agent.
Yes.
Okay, I saw that
realtor,
one.
yeah. And then you get just range of people, so it's...
I'm sure the viewers are definitely gonna like this episode and relate to a lot of things that we've been talking about.
Yeah, man. So going back to that, like you do what you do is because you like to make people feel good.
I do,
you
yes. Like when I show them the mirror sometimes and they have that smile, that pays for the haircut itself, you know? It's a really good feeling. You can't really explain it, but you know that person is leaving with a little bit more confidence than when they walked in.
Yeah, man. How do I look, guys? If you're looking at the video right now, let me know how I look. If I look crazy, that's okay too.
I don't do miracles.
But like I said, we're doing different things here at Experience Podcast. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. It's lovely. Yeah, thank you, Rizzo, on the ones and twos. You're flipping the switchers. Thank you, Lynn, for checking us out and being our live audience. We do have live audiences sometimes, guys. Actually, most of the time, there's at least one to four people in here. So it's a vibe. It's a vibe. We have good energy here.
I definitely like the energy here.
Absolutely, man. So talk more about these pictures that are going on behind us. So they're a slideshow, but is that the flower one?
That was a flower one. So that was actually inspired by, for those hip hop viewers, De La Soul. They had an album cover with the flowers in there, and the young lady, she was just like, she went up to my friend and she's like, hey, I want this done to the hair. And he hit me up. He's like, hey, are you down to collab on this haircut? I was like, yeah, what does she want to do? She's like, oh, she wants to De La Soul flowers. And I've been talking about that with my friend for a long time. So it's funny how that kind of just fell into place.
Is that the one you were talking about earlier where it was like really intricate?
Yeah, because drawing flowers, it's like you have to make it, people have to know what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite ones that we've done so far. Or I did for those wrestling people that like grew up watching wrestling, we did a D-Generation X logo.
Yes, Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Yes. I know a lot of people in middle school and high school got suspended for doing that. for doing that. And that was one of my favorite ones that we did as well.
That's amazing. If you guys can't see and you guys are just listening into your car, that De La Soul haircut, yellow dye it looks like.
Yeah. So we bleached. So the process is we always bleach the hair to get it to a white, or try to get it as white as we can. So it's like a blank canvas.
Yeah.
And then you just start drawing on the head, basically.
Whoa. Where did you start off on that big one right there?
So
the middle?
Yeah, so that was the base of that one, and then you just work the little flowers around it.
Is it just like a brush you use?
So it's basically like a regular paintbrush, yeah.
Oh,
paintbrush and just regular hair dye. Mm-hmm. No, nothing special, nothing fancy.
That squirt bottle.
Okay, like where you? No, it's definitely just like a brush and a bowl, and you just start painting.
How do you draw from that? Like, is it similar to drawing, or is it totally different?
It's a little similar, but it's different in the sense that when you're drawing on paper, it's a flat paper, it doesn't move.
Yeah.
When you're doing hair, there's always gonna be some type of imperfections just because the hair moves and
Yeah.
it does its own thing, you know?
And the anatomy of people's heads is always different.
People have some weird shaped
Some
heads.
weird,
Yes.
weird melons.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
I got a big head.
Yeah.
I got a big head, so I got a weird melon. I'm just kidding. So, dang, what about that one? The heartbreak? Is that a heartbreak?
So that was actually the first hair dye me and my friend ever did. He got inspired by his friends in Phoenix, Arizona. They do a lot of hair coloring like this out there.
Yeah.
And he was kind of bringing the movement out here, and he hit me up. He's like, "Hey, are you down to do some hearts on a guy?" I'm just like designs? He's like, "No, like hair dyeing."
Yeah. Oh.
I was just like, "Yeah, I'm down, bro. Let's do it." And that was like right after the shutdown, so we were able to go back into the barber shop and do these things.
Damn, bro.
That one, right? The pink one?
Yeah, the pink one. And it didn't come out as vibrant as we wanted to just because it was our first time, but we were still happy with the end result, for sure.
Do you ever think about cutting someone famous's hair, or do you ever see somebody that's like a celebrity and you look at their haircut and you're like, dog, what?
A lot of NBA players, I'm not going to drop any names, but a lot of NBA players have haircuts that could definitely be better. Be better.
I imagine that too. I mean, like everybody has their people that they go to, but I'm like, man, there's got to be some, because I'm not a barber. But then I look at some haircuts and I'm like, that one looks kind of off.
Yeah, a lot of NBA players get some haircuts.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and you would think they would be the ones that.
I feel like it's just comfortability. Like,
Yeah, that too, because they've been getting the same haircut for so long. I guess sometimes.
Yeah, maybe the same person.
Or I don't know if you saw the All-Star game with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. They couldn't attend
oh yeah, because that one barber.
because their barber got COVID or whatever,
What?
and they were getting a haircut by him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then they asked Ben Simmons after, like, "Hey, are you gonna change barbers?" He's like, "No, this is my barber."
I think there was a certain time where, because they were in the bubble, right?
Yeah.
During last season at the end of that, right, for NBA, and they were going to a certain person. Was it like one barber?
I think it was like one or two.
So what they did, they set up a barbershop inside the NBA bubble, and it was they showed videos of the facility, and it was like a really nice facility. I'm not sure how they went about choosing like what barbers got to cut there, but there was like 3 or 4, I think, barbers there.
They were hooking him up with the COVID haircuts.
And they were like staying at the bubble, so it was like they were away from their families and stuff like that. So they had to sacrifice as well, just like the players did.
Right.
But that'd be a fun experience, I think.
Everybody was scruffy at that time.
Oh, you saw Jimmy Butler look.
Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, the mustache.
He looked like a dog.
I love the mustache, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was nappy.
Gnarly mustache.
Oh my gosh. Pandemic P.
Yeah.
Paul George. Oh no. Kawhi Leonard has the same hairstyle all the time.
Yeah.
What is it? The braids.
The braids. It kind of fits him though. Like I
fits him.
wouldn't be able to see him without another haircut.
I think I've seen him with an afro.
Like once.
Once.
And that was like because he didn't have his braids in. But
Absolutely.
you see everybody in the NBA starting to get some type of braids or dreads now. It's like the new fashion.
Yeah, bro. So barber, man, I don't think people realize like how much a barber like is in their life too, because you know, they want to get haircuts, you know, at least the thing is every 2 weeks they want to.
Yeah, for sure.
But like throughout the year, you know what I'm saying? Like
I probably see a person throughout the year at least 100 times, if not
man,
way
like,
more.
I think it's just one of those like automatic things where it's like, yeah, I'm doing this. Oh yeah, and I'm getting a haircut with my barber. So like they're in there for a good 45 minutes, 100%. An hour. And you guys are a part of their lives.
Like I've cut people that, like I said, like I was telling Jason, like when he graduated high school for his graduation, people
seeing me grow up.
Exactly,
in
like
high school.
or people like I've had clients get married and build their lives. I had people go to the army and I haven't seen them since then. Like you're there for every major step of your client's life.
Yes. And because they want to get a haircut for those
moments.
Yeah, man. So you're there.
I'm there.
Yeah. That's
I'm there in the background scenes, but I'm definitely there.
That's awesome, man. And then you just look at pictures or whatever, and it's like you're kind of part of that experience.
Exactly.
Because
Like,
you gave them that fresh cut.
Everybody on Instagram that you see has gone to a barber, so it's nice to see that we're out there somehow.
You guys are really out there, and then it really proved when they shut everything down how much they needed barbers.
100%.
How important you guys were
You know, the saying,
everybody.
the look good, feel good, definitely play a role in that.
I saw people on stories. They're like, "Hey, does anybody know a barber? Because all the shops are closed, and I'm looking like a mess." And that was like all the guys, and we're like, "Dude, we looked
just as crazy."
Insane. Oh man, insane, bro. But
Yeah, hopefully that lockdown never happens again.
Yeah, I really think it brought in a lot of, like, you had to face yourself.
100%, yeah.
Any type of insecurities that were
you
going
had.
on, you had to face it. You know, you had to come to a lot of realizations. I've come to a lot of realizations too. I mean, you know, social media booming, and I have to have a certain presence on social media. Everything kind of slowed down, and
Right.
you know, obviously then you're not pushing content, you're not doing events.
As much as you were at one point, yeah.
Because we held Experience Dance Convention in January of 2020, and that was before the lockdown. And I mean, it was amazing. I felt very like my social meter was like 0 to none.
Right.
Because I had to like go around and like talk to everybody for like 6 months. I was attending all these events, and I was like, please just like make a stop. Give me a break for like a month.
A little bit.
And then
that happened.
Little did I know it was like a year.
You got what you asked for.
Yeah, and so that's why it's like, man, I really have to shift things in another perspective. And I didn't realize that I was just kind of, my energy came a lot from these social gatherings,
Right.
these people, and low key, is it affirmations or just kind of like reassurance from other people. And it was crazy how much I thought I didn't need it, and I wasn't feeding off of it, but I was, like, without me even realizing.
Yeah.
And that was like something that I came to the realization is that, wow, a lot of my energy was coming from other people.
Yeah.
Was from fire emoji. Fire. I'm glad they put the fire extinguisher as an emoji now, because that's my response every time someone puts a fire on my thing. I'm just like, I don't know what to say to this. Like I truly don't. I'm like, okay.
That's such a weird compliment.
Yeah, but it's like, even in the last episode, we were talking about how the forms of communication have really
It's
kind
like
of
the
like
new like button.
it watered down. Yeah,
100%.
you can send me a heart eye emoji, then all of a sudden, like, that's the best thing you've ever said to me.
Yeah.
But you didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything. You just sent
didn't say
a emoji.
You just put an emoji that was already pre-made by Apple. Like, no, like, you didn't say anything to me. Like, fire. Like, I get the point across.
The point of it, 100%.
Yeah, like, I get it. You know, and that's part of our generation. And that's, you know, emojis. That's something unique to our generation.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just observations, and the way of communication is watered down. Like, I can't tell you the last time I left a voicemail unless it was like to like a business or just like kind of something more in a professional aspect. But if I'm calling up the homie,
I'm not leaving a voicemail.
or if I'm meeting you at your house, I'm gonna text you I'm here. I'm not gonna ring the doorbell anymore. And like, you used to ring the doorbell.
Yeah.
You used to say, hey, call me at 8 p.m. on my landline. That's when I'm free. Call me at 8 p.m. All right. And that was a thing.
Back then when people had minutes on their phone, had to call me after 9 p.m.
Look me up in the phone book.
Had to call me after 9 p.m.
And you think even before then, what was it before then, you know?
Exactly.
So now our forms of communication come from fire emoji, heart eye, peach,
that's how you slide in
eggplant, whatever you want to say, yeah. And now it comes to a certain feature where you can swipe up and you react to
Makes
the
it
story.
way more convenient, yeah.
You react to the story, and I gave I gave a little crap just to my friends, just because they're my friends, and I'm like, hey guys, can you give me a better form of communication instead of just swiping up and reacting to my story? Because I'd like to still hear from you.
Yeah.
And like I get it. Everybody has lives and everything, but again, it's just an observation of
100%.
like the forms of communication now. So now you have that, and I was like, really? Now I don't get fire emojis, and then all of a sudden it shifted my.
Do you miss them?
My mood. And I've been getting them again recently because we've been pushing content. We've been doing a lot here, and we've been getting things going. But like for example, this podcast started during the pandemic.
Did it?
This podcast came from then, and that's why like there's a lot of good things that come from this time, because I don't know if I would have ever started these podcasts if I didn't have all this time to like look at myself and be like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? You know, so, I mean, it really put things in perspective, but again, self-realization throughout last year. And I've seen more than enough people facing that on their own. And I'm sure that's happened to you.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, what happened last year? What did you realize? Or
It made me realize that people had to have interaction with people, you know? Like, I don't know, during the pandemic and stuff, with all this mask stuff, you don't even know if people are smiling at you anymore. And I've always found that so weird. Like, you go to the grocery store and everybody's just like a zombie just walking down the aisles, don't even interact with you or don't even acknowledge you anymore. And I feel like that's one of the biggest things that people have missed is the human interaction with everything.
yeah, even if you're an introvert.
Yeah, even if you were an introvert, you miss the social interaction.
Yeah, because at some point, you know, we're social creatures. Like we need some type of interaction
With people, 100%.
and all. I'll tell you though, if this PS5 was here during the pandemic, I would have been way better. But I don't think the PS5 was out yet. But it would have been great.
Because that's definitely what I was doing through the whole pandemic. I was definitely gaming a lot
Oh
more than usual.
man, yeah. Don't even get me started.
That's definitely all I was doing.
Fun
Fun time.
Food, TikTok. And
No gym.
gym. Home workouts. Losing the muscle mass. Like it really shifted.
No,
things.
definitely, yeah, 100%.
And I even listened to like some TikTok songs at the time that were viral, and I'm like, never play these songs again because I do not want to be reminded of this time. But I made a post on Instagram, and I said, I hope everybody remembers
This, 100%.
like what it feels like to be secluded, to be
On
in a
lockdown.
pandemic, and because remember this time, really remember this, because this may only be a glimpse in time, and people will only remember this through textbooks or YouTube videos in the future. But remember what it made us feel like. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta remember these things, because what does it all happen for if you're just gonna go back to the way you were before? I know there's a lot of like things that people learned from this time. You know, whatever path it took you, and now you're doing something different. Maybe you realize something. Maybe you're doing the same thing you've been doing, but in more.
In a completely different fashion, yep.
Exactly. So,
Should be finishing up here.
my little sweaty self. So, if you guys don't know me, I sweat real easily, so that's why we love Chicago. Born and raised in Chicago, so we love the cold weather. Let us know where you're from. Where are you listening to us from? I saw a few people listening to us in New Zealand. I seen a few people listening to us
Worldwide, that's crazy.
Worldwide in the Philippines, and obviously in the U.S. So drop a comment. Let us know where you're from. Reach out. Have a conversation with us. We'd love to see you guys because you see us all the time. So yeah, man. Bro, where can they find you? Where can people find you at?
So I'm on Instagram at Gutty Cuts, GUTICUTS.
Gutty Cuts.
Yes, sir.
You guys.
It's some people say Goody. It works either way. I
was like, you guys did not hear me say Gucci Cuts.
No, but I kind of accept it because people call me that.
Yeah, Gutierrez.
Yeah. So it kind of balances forth. But either way, that's where you can find me at. I'll be posting my sick hair coloring pictures there.
Where can they find you if they're in Las Vegas? Where can they get a haircut and get hooked up?
I am at Fade Masters Barbershop on Flamingo and Fort Apache. It's a brand new shop that opened up a few months ago, right after the pandemic. Everything. My close friend of mine, opened up his own barbershop, and that's when I decided to go work for him.
That's amazing, bro. Is there anything that you want to tell the viewers or anybody that's an aspiring barber? Any advice that you want to give to them?
The advice I can give maybe is not just barbering, but everything. Always be willing to learn from somebody else. A lot of people close themselves out to information that they could possibly learn from somebody else just because they're set in their own ways and think they know everything. Mm-hmm. And never close yourself off to information that you can learn from somebody else.
Absolutely.
Always be open.
Yeah, man. What did you learned a lot from Mr. B, huh?
I did. As hard as a person he was, he definitely prepares you for real life scenarios and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
that gave you the process and the journey, and that
It
was the
did,
beauty
for
of it,
sure,
wasn't
for
it?
sure. That's the
man.
journey.
And that's what it is, bro. That's freaking amazing, man. Do you like shoes? Do you like shoes?
You know, I used to be big into shoes in high school, and with the whole sneaker bots and reselling stuff, it's a lot more harder to get a pair of shoes that you actually like.
Oh gosh,
So-
it's a whole thing now, man. That's why this Instagram account that hooked us up, Mr. Soul Vibes, man, they hook it up. They have some rare shoes that like sell out within, I don't know, you ask this guy, he's
He's
more
the
into
shoe
this.
Within
guy.
like 2 minutes.
He's
you
the
know,
shoe guy.
If you can't get the W on sneakers,
Got him.
just hit them up. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And she has all these shoes, man. I don't know if you can peep the kicks of this guy, but he has
Get the
some
shoes up, bro.
fresh, man. Some very fresh concrete shoes, bro. So, you know, if you can get hooked up that way, that'd be awesome too. You guys have a pandemic hairstyle. Come through to Gucci. I can already feel it. It feels fresh.
You look good.
It feels fresh.
You
Listen,
look fresh.
I like your cut, G.
I don't know what's going on.
I like your cut, G.
That's why I don't know what's going on right now.
We're pretty much done with the haircut.
We
now.
done?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna clean you up right
The
here.
finished product.
Do you have any advice for like, you know, basic etiquette when people come into the shop?
That's
Oh, like
yeah, you,
clients? Oh man, I can.
sitting in the chair. I saw that one on your
You would
post.
need a whole another hour for this. But don't be on your phone so much when you're in your barber's chair. What other things? Like when you step on the chair, like sit in the chair. Don't stand on the little footrest.
Yeah,
'cause
I saw you gotta
they're older.
feet.
They're older chairs and they're very
Yeah.
delicate. And if you break one of those chairs, they're pretty expensive chairs.
That's a good thing to know because there's a lot of clients that just, you know, they
Or
just
like,
go up in there. They don't
or
know.
you, since we were doing this whole thing talking, the fact that you were looking straight and talking, some people like to like turn around and talk to you, and that there's been times where,
Just like, wait, stay still,
where
stay
I've
still.
seen people like mess up somebody's haircut because they moved, and there's nothing you can do at that point.
So you guys hear that? Proper etiquette
Yes.
when getting a haircut in a barbershop.
And be on time.
And be on time. Please be on
Please
time.
be on time.
They
Please
have
be
a
on time.
schedule to go
Yes.
by, and you know they have like
This little
11 haircuts to go
burns.
through. Yeah.
Oh, we put it on some burn.
Burn.
This is aftershave, guys.
Yes.
Sometimes he'll spray like an aftershave too, and I'm thinking it's water. And I'm like,
And then you just.
oh, what does this sting so much? Yeah, it's aftershave. But I mean, that's good, guys. So you really know that. I mean, we're all clients when we go in for a haircut, barbershop. You got to know those proper etiquettes, man. You have to know these proper things because if you're sitting in that chair, don't break the chair.
Don't break. Please
Don't break the chair.
Don't mess up
bust
your own
the
haircut
chair.
by moving.
Yeah, because see, then now they got to get another chair, and then now you got to stall the haircut, and then it goes into the next hair. It's a domino effect, guys. So
100%.
if you're listening now, you get this proper etiquette for being in a barbershop. Don't take it lightly. Take it seriously.
It's a serious thing.
These guys have a job to do.
We're just trying to make you guys look good.
Yeah, they're
A
trying to make you
$50
look good.
haircut can turn into like a $300 haircut.
Very quickly.
Just for that chair.
Very quickly.
Absolutely. Dang, man. Again, thank you for coming in.
No, of course. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for bringing me into your guys' space.
Everybody that comes in is our honorary guest, and we look highly up to you guys already.
Never been a guest on anything.
Really?
No, I've never been a guest on anything.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but a lot of the times, all of my guests, this is the very first podcast for them, so they're breaking new boundaries too, guys. So this is
Definitely
something that's
something new.
you're gonna see them evolve and grow, and this is the opportunity and the platform that they get. So, damn, man. Oh, I feel fresh. I feel
You look
crispy.
fresh, bro. You look a lot. It was definitely long overdue. Definitely long overdue.
Absolutely, and I was doing that. I was like, you know what? I gotta wait for my haircut. I gotta make sure that
It has to be on the podcast.
Yes, absolutely,
Definitely on the
man.
podcast.
Damn, bro. So, what we said, don't step on the barber's chair.
Don't be late.
Don't be late.
Don't look at your phone.
Don't look at your phone.
Don't look at your phone. And when you're talking to the barber,
Look straight.
don't look straight. Don't try to find him.
Don't try to-
Don't try to find him or her. Do not try to find them like they're trying to cut your hair.
And trust your barber.
Absolutely.
Trust your barber.
Trust your barber.
It's like, oh, you forgot about this. You forgot about that.
Right. None of
Yes,
that.
sir. Yes,
I wish
sir.
I had a mirror to show you, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we can.
Oh, do we look fresh? We look fresh. Thank you.
Let me get that mirror for you, bro.
Yeah, right here. Check it out. If you guys like the product, am I looking fresh over here?
Check yourself out.
Thank you. Yes. Woo! I look like a whole different person. I look like a whole different person.
You
And that's
100%
exactly
do.
like what we were talking about. So your barber plays a really big role in your life, man. And this guy has, even though, like, say you don't say like your business and like what's going on necessarily, you could be going through something.
100%.
And again, indirectly, they're part of your life because they're still there for the moments, good, bad, or anything.
We're
So-
a therapist.
Absolutely.
Therapist.
So don't take them lightly, guys. Barbers are, they prove to be very important in the pandemic. So just like this guy, man. Thank you for coming, bro.
Of course, man.
We appreciate you for being
Thank you for
here
having
with
me,
us.
bro.
Thank
Appreciate you. Much love
Hooking me
always,
up.
bro. Yes.
Fresh
You're
cut.
next on a haircut, bro.
Definitely.
You're next on a
Thank you to my
haircut.
co-host.
There's that social right there.
Right there. Follow me on Instagram, guys.
GUTICUTS. Gutty Cuts.
Yes.
Thank you guys
Gutty.
for checking us out, man.
Thank you, guys.
We're signing off.
Good
Peace.
night.